Hi everyone, welcome to another video created by me, Zan Ta. Today's Autodesk screencast focuses on some of the new features of Revit 2017. This will be one of many videos, so be on the lookout for additional videos in this series. Enjoy! Here I am in Revit 2017, and I'd like to cover some of the enhancements that they've made to the MEP aspects of the software. As most of you may know, in Revit 2016 R2, they introduced better fabrication capability. So for those who are not aware, Autodesk has a series of fabrication software called Fabrication CAD MEP, Duct MEP, and EST MEP that allows you to create fabrication shop level drawings of your Revit model. And so for the purposes of the improvements of the software from an MEP standpoint, you'll notice that this design intent model just has standard Revit MEP ductwork in it. It used to be such that you could select the object and try to change it to a MEP fabrication based object, but it was a little cumbersome and difficult to do. Now in Revit 2017, you can tab the entire series, if you will, and they have this design to fabrication command in the ribbon. If I click it, what ends up happening is it'll ask me to select the fabrication service to use. I'll pick the one that I want, click OK, and it will automatically convert all of them to fabrication parts. Now, obviously there's a little warning here because there's some connections that are not functioning, but we'll address that in 1 second. If I go over to the Systems tab of the ribbon, Fabrication Panel, you can see there's a little arrowhead for fabrication settings. If I select it, you'll notice that there is a fabrication configuration window that I can pick the type that I want to work with, and I can load in any services that I need to. Since I've already loaded them, I don't have to worry about loading them again, but I can also just click reload if I need to, and it'll allow me to load that data in. Once the fabrication database configuration files have been loaded properly, you can then start using those objects within the software. And you'll notice again, these objects are now actual MEP fabrication parts. I can click fabrication part command and it will open up the MEP fabrication parts panel. It'll list the service and the group and the types of objects to be able to work with. I can very quickly and easily select any piece if I need to and click optimize length, and it will adjust them and redesign them to, if you will, proper manufacturing part lengths. So we'll do that over here as well. And then you'll notice as well that we've got a design situation here that we need to correct. I can select the object, and if I need to, I can actually use a new feature called Route and Fill. What this allows me to do is tell it to connect to another endpoint node, if you will, of another MEP fabrication part, and it will figure out what part to put in. I have multiple solutions available, and if I do, I can use the arrows to jump from one solution to another. I can click the green check mark to accept that piece and it will finish it. Or I can click the green check mark in the contextual ribbon. Another feature that they've enhanced is obviously not just the catalog of information that's being inputted to have more data available for you to work with, but it used to be set up such that if you had a piece that was running this way, you had another MEP fabrication piece that was running this way, you couldn't use the trim or extend command to bring them together. But now you can. I could just use TR as my keyboard shortcut and click the two, and now they're connected with an actual part that is a fabrication part. And again, you can select multiple parts if you need to and click optimize length. So you're really starting to get a better handle on the MEP fabrication features of Fabrication CAD MEP, EST MEP, Duct MEP capability within Revit 2017. And with that, let's jump over to another feature that they have improved in the Revit 2017 software, and that has to do with hangers. So let's open up a file. And you'll notice in this particular file we've got some hangers that we're working with. And if I orbit it a little bit, you'll notice that I can now place a hanger and have it hosted by another hanger. I can also select a particular hanger, and I've got these little arrow grips here that I can click and drag to adjust the length of the actual hanger horizontal member on either side. When you're working with the hanger, if you select the little node grip, if you will, for the drag rod, you can click and pull it out and adjust it if you need to, or put it back to that particular member. And there is also another feature where if you are selecting, say, the ductwork, like this member here, and I go to move this member, I can move it without a problem. Let's try another member over here. Let's look at this one. If I select this and I move this, it's going to move everything. This warning is because of the hanger that you saw earlier over here. If I select this particular hanger, you can notice that, again, I can pull that end, but there's also going to be little locking symbols that you can lock or unlock. And what that does is, let's say right now it's locked. So if I unlock this and I decide to move this member, that end is going to move. That doesn't look like it did anything, but if I grab and pull, it'll adjust. If I grab and pull this arrowhead here and pull, that makes the adjustment. And then if I move the duct to my right or left, you'll notice that this particular rod, since it was unlocked, doesn't hold a relationship to this duct. It stays put, and now the gap is here. Whereas this one, it actually is locked. So if I move this duct back, this particular duct stays in relationship, rod stays in relationship to this duct. So that's what this lock and unlock feature does. And so if I lock this again and I move the duct, you'll notice both rods will move because both are connected. There are other types of MEP enhancements that they've done more on the calculations and loading aspects of the software. And then lastly, some additional computation capability as well. Thank you very much for watching this screencast video on what's new in Revit 2017 for the MEP improvements. And I hope to hear from you guys again and do another video on other types of what's new features in Revit 2017.